Holy shit, we actually had possibly a decent show to watch tonight. Not saying that WWE Raw, July 13th, 2026, was a masterpiece, but we had somewhat of a decent show tonight. I actually kind of enjoyed it. But there's somewhat of, a few things involved that helped that. One being that they had a gauntlet match for the number one contender of the IC Championship. Chad Gable ended up winning this matchup. Entertaining stuff. Didn't like the roll-up pinfall on Rusev. I wish they would have done a little bit more with that. Rusev taking a roll-up pinfall from Chad Gable looked kind of weak to me, but excluding that, very enjoyable match. Other things that occurred on this match, we had the match start up with Joe Hendry and Dominic Mysterio. Dominic ends up winning that portion of the match. They then have, I think it's Dominic versus Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee ended up winning this match because of Danhausen's distraction, and Dragon Lee ended up winning. From there, we had Javon Evans and Dragon Lee having a really entertaining match. Good work by both of these men. Following that, I'm trying to remember who he beat next. I believe there was someone before Rusev, and then Rusev beat Javon Evans. But yeah, Javon Evans, he ended up losing to Rusev in a very, heartfelt effort. But I think Rusev should have made him tap out or pass out after the second attempt. He had to do 3 attempts just to finish him off, which I think was a little overkill. I don't think it would have hurt Javon Evans by passing out by the second attempt from the Accolades submission hold. Chad Gable and Rusev, mat-based wrestling, absolutely enjoyed that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have fun watching the flips and dives, but it's not, if it's done consistently all the time, it's just, I'm not really into it. It's too much. It's too often, it's repetitive, and it's consistent. So to me, I'd rather see mat-based wrestling and see high-flying flips and dive spots during, like, once in a while, but not consistently every episode or every pay-per-view or something. Just, like, have it something I can actually miss and not sit there and go, well, I've seen this before, nothing surprising to me. Like, allow us to miss those type of spots. Save them for major pay-per-view events or something, or when it calls for it. I don't understand why these smaller wrestlers can't do, like, mat-based wrestling. Chad Gable can, why can't any of these other guys can? To me, it's just repetitive, and it doesn't have the same feel it usually does when they do it consistently all the time. So that's one of my issues with that. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, their contract signing, fantastic, but should have been the Go Home Show segment, not this episode. But I don't know, man. What are they going to tell now? They've pretty much reached the peak of where they can go with this. Now the only thing left is have the match. Roman Reigns gets told out by Seth that, I'll see you when you feel like coming to work. And so on and so forth. He said some really cool shit. And then Roman went ahead and he said, okay, let's just say, for heaven's sake, you are the one who beats me for the World Heavyweight title. Okay. What happens then? Oh, I know, and everyone else here has been thinking it. You're going to get injured again, you're going to have to drop the title anyway. This sets off Seth Rollins. He gets in the middle of the ring, and he gets pretty pissed off. He says, "Come on, what do you want me to say, man? This is why you're number 2. I was waiting for Roman to say, let's face facts, man. You're injury prone. You may have all the talent in the world, but your body can't hold up. You do things that are over abundance. You're trying to prove something to someone. I don't need to prove nothing to anyone. I am comfortable within myself. I don't need to throw my body around to make a point. That is why I'm number 1, and that's why you're number 2. He goes ahead and he says, the only way you can end up being WWE champion is by cashing in and screwing someone's match over in the middle of a match, or faking an injury while being the Money in the Bank winner and then winning a title. But at the end of the day, you end up getting injured and then you have to drop the title. And that's not a lie, because twice these two were supposed to meet up. Once at Survivor Series of 2015, Seth Rollins injured his knee, and that's when Roman, I believe, was supposed to get his first run with the WWE Championship against Seth Rollins. And then they were supposed to meet each other at this year's WrestleMania, and that did not occur. So, what happened? They had to go with the options they went with. And that's pretty much it. So there you go. That pissed off Seth Rollins. He pretty much has been at the point in his career where he has to accept himself for who he is and not beat himself down. It's pretty much what he said. And then went on to say his catchphrase, I'm a visionary, I'm an architect. Well, I'm an architect, I'm a visionary, I'm a revolutionary, blah, 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 blah. And then he ends up punching Roman Reigns, and this shit gets underway. And Seth ends up being the guy standing tall. Roman did get a little offense in this spot, but he ends up losing in the battle of this one episode that we watched here tonight. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it, but I know damn well, long term, they have nothing else more to go off of. They've dropped their load. They've said their piece. They did what they had to do to get this match over, because that's what this is really all about. Seth should have just won the King of the Ring tournament. Oba should have never been in the tournament to begin with, or ended up having Brock Lesnar fuck him out of the semifinals or something like that to have this match happen. That way we wouldn't have had Obafemi dropping his opportunity for the championship out of the clear blue. Speaking of Obafemi and Brock Lesnar showed up with Paul Heyman to kickstart the show. And I personally, I'm not buying Paul Heyman's speech about Brock Lesnar anymore. I guess it's because we know he's going to be retiring. This is his retirement match, from at least for right now, from what I know of. And I'm not buying anything that Paul is selling about Brock Lesnar anymore. We all know this is all part of the end of Brock, where Obafemi carries on that torch. So, why am I going to care about that at all? I have no idea. But, yeah. Obafemi, he showed up. We find out later, by the way, that Paul Heyman lied. He said he had a restraining order against Obafemi, that he couldn't be around him and Brock Lesnar for about 100 feet, I think it was. And that was found out to be false by Adam Pearce. I mean, I don't know, man. Calls him a big dummy throughout this entire thing. Calls him a really, really, really big Nigerian dummy that turned a title shot down because he's acting like a psycho ex-girlfriend going after Brock Lesnar. That was another thing he kept bringing up about the fact that he dropped an opportunity for a world championship opportunity. Fucked up my words there. My apologies. Just so he can face Brock Lesnar. Now, my personal feeling, and they kind of explain why Oba did this, finally. Took them a while. He said, the reason why I didn't go after the world championship is because I know damn well Brock Lesnar would have screwed me out of winning that title because that's what he would have done. Very valid point, but you're missing the big picture. Why would Brock want to do that when he could end up trying to challenge for the world championship after you were to win that title? That's another thing they could have thrown out there to make Obafemi look a little stupid. Because honestly, what Obafemi's doing is stupid. It really is. It's absolutely fucking dumb. And I personally don't like the looks of it, because Brock Lesnar or Paul Heyman could have come back in response and said, you are a real fucking dope, man. You do realize that Brock could have just stayed out of it, see if you could win that championship that you're going after, and then challenge you for the title and kick your ass and take a championship again. So you thinking that Brock would have done that is absurd, because that would lose out the opportunity of more money that we could have made, as well as adding more championship gold to Brock Lesnar's legacy. So you don't know us at all, and quite frankly, you are a dope. That would have made Obafemi look like a fucking ass. But they didn't have him say that. They didn't have Paul or Brock say that. Instead, they pretty much had Oba try to explain why he didn't do it. He didn't go after it because he thought he was just going to fuck him over out of the title. Now, for a business perspective and to get his rocks off, being able to end Obafemi's reign and adding another championship reign to his career, I think that would be more important to Brock Lesnar. Not to mention another main event. Guaranteed main event as well. With a title on the line. I don't know, man. To me it seemed a little stupid, but hey, what am I gonna say? But yeah, that's pretty much all there was here. A lot of flapping of the gums of Paul Heyman trying to convince the fans as to Brock Lesnar's coming out of this as a winner. I mean, come on. That ain't happening. They then cut to a video package taking a look at the rise of the faction known as the Shield, reminding us of the history between Seth and Roman Reigns as they get ready to face off at SummerSlam for the World Championship. Now, there is actually something that's mentioned, that there's going to be parts played through this episode tonight that we watched, as well as the next episode. So I'm assuming those video packages are to fill in the gaps as to what we're not seeing from these two, building the story up between the two of them. What a joke. Because they can't have a part-timer at least show up week after week to help build the story. They need to fill in the gaps by using old video footage to explain the history between these two. If you've been following the product for the last 15 plus years, you know what's going on. Okay? So, just my my thoughts. Quite frankly, I think the people that are still watching this product are probably the same people that were watching it 15 years ago, because the other people, probably from that time frame, had decided to stop watching because they're fed up of watching garbage. Me, I'm just a fucking wrestling fanatic nut job who wants to see this product get better, but know full well it's not going to happen because the idiots at the top don't care about wrestling. They hate wrestling. They only are using it like a cheap whore. They're pimps, and WWE's brand is the cheap whore that's being tossed around like a fucking whore. Okay? That's all there is to it. Triple H will do whatever Errol Emanuel says to do. And he will do it. Why? He got a nice fucking increase in his pay and a $3 million bonus. Why wouldn't he do that? Now, me personally, I would enjoy the bonus, but I also want to get that bonus while still trying to help the promotion that I'm working for get better. That's what I would want to get paid for, is to help the company get better. But, hey, Triple H ain't in for that. He's in it for the moolah, the money, man. He don't care about helping fans. He don't care about the fans. Are you fucking serious? All those storylines we got that we enjoyed and we're happy and enjoying it and saying that he was the guy that was going to carry on the torch of the WWE creative team was just a facade. We know he can tell a good story. He just don't want to because he don't give a fuck. He got where he wanted to be. He's happy where he is. And the people above him aren't pushing him to do anything else because they don't give a fuck either. They care about Zuffa boxing and UFC. They don't see wrestling as a hot commodity. They see it as a way of making cheap-ass money while gouging the fans out of fucking money out the wazoo because they believe and hoping and praying on the fucking fans who are gosh darn marks for this shit that are willing to go belly up broke just to go ahead and go to their stupid events. Me personally, as a wrestling fan, I would love to go to a WWE show. I've already done that. But I'm not, even if I was a multi-millionaire, I would not go out, I would have a certain limit to where I would say, okay, I'm okay with this inflation price. Here's my money. No, I would not. The way they are charging people now, no, I would not throw my money away for a theatric sporting event. It's a theater sporting event. It's a performance-based show. Based on how you're telling a story, how your character is, and how well you work in the ring. Those are based on performances. UFC, boxing, yeah, it's based on performance and how well your skills are, but you're also legitimately trying to knock the person the fuck out. There's nothing holding you back. No one's telling you to follow a certain script. I mean, the fight can be fixed, but it's not supposed to be, technically. I mean, you look at UFC 329. If you went and watched that event, that card, excluding the main event, was a fun show. I absolutely enjoyed the fights that were on that card. Except Conor McGregor messing up his kneecap. Hey, Seth and Conor have something in common. They are great fighters, great at what they do, but they always seem to manage to hurt themselves. Holy shit. Anyway, moving away from the UFC, let's stick to the WWE Raw review here. We also get some hype that Jalen Brunson is accepting Roman Reigns' invitation to attend Saturday night's main event this weekend at Madison Square Garden before heading back to ringside, where Io Sky makes her entrance to face Roxanne Perez. Are you fucking serious? Roman Reigns is going to make an appearance at Saturday night's main event, Madison Square Garden, but he can't fucking dare show his face week to week to tell a story about him and Seth Rollins that's him being involved in one of the main events of SummerSlam? Oh my god, this company's fucked. Straight up, man. I think this company's retarded as hell. Sky Roxanne Perez was the first match of the night. This was an okay match. Nothing too particular that excited me over this. Sky ends up winning the match, though. Immediately after the match, Sky was attacked by Liv Morgan and Raquel, laying into Sky after Perez lands a chop block on the injured leg that she actually got during the match. Out comes Soruka for the save, but it doesn't take long for the Judgment Day to beat her down, as well as leading to Raquel sending her into the ring post with a loud thunk on a powerbomb. Ruka is laid out as Liv catches Sky with Oblivion, and the trio stands tall over her as we cut to look back at the SmackDown on Friday, where Royce Keys finds himself at odds with Jimmy and Jacob Fatu. In the midst of all this, we see Solo Sikoa looking for some revenge, and Jacob nearly crushes him in the corner before deciding to just give out to him instead before leaving the ring. Okay? We then get the Vision, I believe. We head back to ringside as the Vision makes their entrance along with Maxine Dupree. They will be holding a championship celebration next. Oh, wow. You're celebrating over winning a tag team title with no division. Are you fucking serious here? And not to mention, no Street Profits return, nothing from them. We get Otis and Tazira, what's his fucking name? Tozawa, okay? I can't remember. Akira Tozawa. They make their way to this segment. Why? Like, bro, you're sitting there. You got some bitch who decides to get up, leave the team. They're doing nothing with her being part of the team, not to mention. And they're sitting in catering. Now, my attitude's real simple. If I was Otis and Akira Tozawa, I'd be like, good riddance. We weren't doing nothing with you anyway. Were we winning tag team titles? Were we even in a hunt for the tag team titles? The answer is no. You weren't. You're sitting there and freaking catering, doing absolutely nothing. Now that she's part of the Vision, they now have something to do? Where's the freaking consistency here, man? Ever since Chad Gable revealed himself as the original Americano, the Otis and Tozawa have been appearing on these shows weekly now. Maxine Dupree is now showing up weekly as well, outside of the backstage appearances with Austin Aries. Austin Aries. What the fuck am I talking about? Austin Theory, okay? I mean, like, outside of the backstage spots that you see Austin Theory and Maxine Dupree talking to each other, there wasn't a whole lot going on with her either. So, I mean, like, what were we getting with this? Oh, I got the answer. It's called nothing. There's your fucking answer. So, I don't know, man, but me personally, not feeling it. They took forever to get to the freaking point here. So let me just give you the rundown of the detail of what happened here. The Vision thanks the help of Maxine Dupree. Logan Paul has the mic, and as he tells the crowd to give it up for the new tag team champions, The Vision. And we couldn't have done it without our newest member, the Queen of The Vision, Maxine Dupree. Maxine starts to speak, but the audio starts having issues, so you don't really get to hear what she's saying. And then Akira Tozawa and Otis make their way out to the ring. Tozawa asks Maxine if they can talk, leading to a discussion as the crowd chants for Otis. The Vision agree to leave the ring as Akira Tozawa asks her what she's doing. This isn't her because she knows this guy, Theory, is not good for her. Maxine says she still loves them, but she didn't have a choice as the crowd boos loudly. She then explains that Otis gave her a choice. It's either hang around with Austin Theory or be with Alpha Academy. She chose Austin Theory. This was all just one big giant act. Why we had to go this long, convoluted route, I have no idea. We could have just got straight to the point, hurt their feelings, and be done with it. Or we could have done something really unique. We could have had Otis and Akira Tozawa have some fucking balls and literally get mad at her and tell her, hey, you want Austin Theory in the Vision? Good, you can have him. Go fuck off. We weren't doing anything with you anyway. We've been sitting and catering the whole freaking time. So what help have you been to this team at all? We thought you were a good person. Now you prove and show your true colors of who you are. You're a phony bullshit bitch. And then we move along. And we get the brawl we got. And that's it. But instead, we got some convoluted BS where we still got the brawl that I was talking about, my version of how I'd have done it. And then we finally see Maxine Dupree turn on the Alpha Academy by looking at Otis, pretending she had some interest in him, and there was hints of that coming on during the promo that Otis was trying to give, because Austin Theory said, you know what, if you're trying to imply that you have feelings for this woman, get lost, because a woman like her ain't with a loser like you. Fat, out of shape, crusty, mofo motherfucker. She's gonna be with a guy like me, who's fit, looks good, and actually is a winner. He can think he's a winner, but I don't buy that at this point because of the way WWE books him on a regular basis. But hey, to each his own, you know? But yeah, that was pretty much what happened there. She literally ends up betraying them, pretty much going ahead and showing her true colors at the end of the day. And Austin Theory ends up low-blowing him while he's in the midst of trying to kiss her, I guess. And that was that. And that was the whole entire segment in a nutshell. Braun Breaker, holy fuck, brother. That man was killing people left and right. He even got clotheslined by Otis, landed on his fucking neck, and still got up and destroyed both Akira Tozawa and Braun Breakers with spears. Goldberg, go eat your heart out, man. Because Braun Breaker is fucking taking that spear to the next level. That motherfucker can hit. And he hits at a real fast pace. If we could have ever gotten Goldberg in his prime versus Braun Breaker, take my money. I'd pay to watch that. That is for fucking certain. I would love to see that kind of match occur. But it'd have to be prime Goldberg. But unfortunately, we'll never get to see something like that. So, fuck us, right? Too bad it couldn't happen, because I'd love to see Goldberg in his prime going against Braun Breaker now. Because Braun Breaker, brother, man, that guy makes Goldberg's spear look so much better. And Goldberg's spear is fucking beautiful. The way he hit his opponents back in the day, he made it look like it hurt like a bitch, and I'm pretty sure it did. So, I mean, shit, man. But it is what it is. We get an advertisement that Houston's hosting the Survivor Series on November 23rd this year. Big fucking deal. I don't care. We randomly get Royce Keys and Jimmy Uso happen on this show. And that's because during the commercial break, Jimmy Uso comes out trying to cut a promo, and Royce Keys interferes in the promo. Why we're getting this on a commercial break, I have no idea, but hey, to each his own, I guess. Anyway, so he interferes in this promo. They have the match. The match really doesn't, I don't think it led to anything. No, it didn't lead to anything. Jacob Fatu interfered in the match with Royce Keys. He attacks Royce Keys. Becomes a no contest or a DQ. Solo Sikoa shows up, and he says, alright, you know what you guys did this past Friday, it woke me up, and I'm gonna come join the family again. I'm gonna fold and join the family. He sticks up the one, and Jimmy and Jacob fall in line, and then all of a sudden, without them noticing, he actually puts the one down, has the thumb sticking outwards, and hits Jimmy Uso with a Samoan spike to the throat, and then we get an all-out brawl taking place. Royce Keys joins in to even out the odds, but that was to no avail. And then LA Knight's appearance took over with a chair shots to Jacob Fatu, but at first it didn't work. He had to hit him in the gut with the chair and then hit him in the back several times just to knock him out of the ring. And LA Knight said, you know what? To end this bloodline load of bullshit, I'm going to have to kick all three of your asses. It's going to be you, Jimmy, Jacob Fatu, and Jey Uso whenever you can get his ass to show up against me. And oh yeah, I don't have to fight by myself. I got Royce Keys and I got Solo Sikoa. And both of them didn't seem to have any issues with that. So we got a 6-man tag team match for SummerSlam. Now, don't get me wrong here, but didn't we see a 6-man tag team match at WrestleMania this year? With LA Knight in it? With him, with the Usos? Against members of the Vision? Isn't that what we got here? We had, I believe it was... Oh yeah, it was also with iShow Speed and Austin Theory and Logan Paul. That's what we got at WrestleMania this year to open a show. I think it was night 1. No, it was night 1. Yes, night 1. They opened that show. My God, man. And now we're getting the same repeat of the same shit. Only this time he has new partners. What is this? Rinse and repeat. Same old shit. Round and round we go. Where does it stop? Nobody fucking knows. Get out of here. This shit sucks. I mean, there's some things on the show I was really entertained by, but still, there's a lot of things wrong with this fucking product, and I don't believe it's ever going to be fixed. It's just either you sit by, you watch it destroy itself and enjoy the destruction of the WWE killing itself, or you just stop watching and that's it. Those are your options, really. So either enjoy watching the self-destruction of WWE, or just stop watching the product. That's all. Me, I think I'm enjoying myself watching this show, killing itself. AEW doesn't have to do anything. Literally nothing. All they need to do is focus on trying to build storylines that have more in-depth story, and they will pretty much improve, in my opinion. Just my thoughts, but hey, it is what it is. So anyway, backstage we had the Vision brag about what they did to Otis and Tozawa. And Paul Heyman gives them their props, as well as Maxine Dupree. But when Austin asks if Heyman is coming with them to celebrate, Paul says that Dupree did such a great job. What do they need him for? He walks off, leaving us with a confused Vision as Raw moves on. That's just Paul Heyman's way of saying, no, I don't want to be part of your shitty ass fucking group anymore. You suck. My only reason why I was part of this group is with a big name with the name of Seth Rollins. Now that Seth Rollins is no longer part of this group, I don't need you fuckers. Not to mention you're injury prone as hell, and you can't keep a member on the team long enough to excel a story. So let me just put all my energy and time into Brock Lesnar, and you can all go fuck off. Enjoy Maxine Dupree. That's pretty much it. What else? Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. I thought this was kind of interesting. It was kind of weird too. I mean, Lyra Valkyria kind of coming across a little like Bayley's character from last year, where she's having a nervous breakdown, a mental breakdown, where she's hearing voices inside of her head, which, by the way, I don't understand why they didn't just continue that story and left these two from being tag team partners to actually being rivals with each other. But Lyra Valkyria said some things that made a little bit of sense. She went ahead and she pretty much felt bad for her. And by her feeling bad for Bayley and what she's done, you know, with how people have treated her and turning their back on her, she felt sorry for her. And by doing so, it held her back from excelling in her career some more and getting more accolades under her belt. Which, to me, makes a lot of sense. But still, the story was last year that she was supposed to be, Bayley, a schizoid maniac who's lost her mind and hearing multiple voices of herself inside of her own head. I mean, that's the role that I kind of wish we would have kept going with. But we had to drop that. And now we got Lyra Valkyria kind of doing that role without the voices inside of her head. She's just looks like she hasn't slept in months or something. And wearing rags for clothes. Why she's wearing rags, I have no idea. Her clothes are ripped up, stained. Looks fucking ridiculous. She looks a lot better without the makeup, by the way. And so let's go through the details of what was stated. We head to ringside as we see Bayley with a microphone asking for Lyra to come out. When she does, Bayley hands a microphone to her former tag team partner. She asks if Valkyria will say anything, saying she brought her out here because she thought there would be an apology. Lyra says Bayley should be apologizing to her for holding her back for the past year. She mocks Bayley about her friends always betraying her, and maybe if she wasn't so obsessed with her past friendships and failures, she would take care of her problems. She stops Bayley from talking as she says every good thing she's given Bayley has been a lie. She's never deserved to be on the posters, and she's always been the worst of the four horsewomen. Bayley says she should have realized this was a mistake, telling Lyra she's saying all of this to the first women's Grand Slam winner. She talks about her accolades before saying she'll add beating Lyra ass inside Madison Square Garden to that list. Lyra blindsides her when Bayley starts to talk away and laying into her before dropping Bayley with a belly-to-belly slam. She stands over Bayley, mocking her as commentary talks up Saturday night's main event in New York City, and she does her old Lyra Valkyria babyface pose and kind of does it lackluster, doesn't seem to care to do it, but she does it anyway as a way of mocking her babyface character, in a sense. They do another focus point on the Seth Rollins Roman Reigns as to when Rollins turned on the Shield. It was very short, less than a minute, honestly. So, yeah. We then get the Gauntlet match, which was the main event. I've already went over all of this, so ain't much more to say at this point. But yeah, I thought this was a fun, entertaining main event. And then we had the contract signing, which I went over as well. And that was pretty entertaining as well. And outside of those two things, a little bit of what Brock Lesnar and Obafemi did. And the Vision with Braun Breaker, honestly, that was the standout. The shining spot of that entire segment was Braun Breaker, in my opinion, because that's what I care about most. I don't care about the rest of the Vision. The Vision don't mean shit to me. Shit, even Logan Paul don't mean nothing to me, and he's a fucking name in the world of social media. And I don't even care for his fucking ass, injured or not. I'll admit he's a great wrestler, but he is not Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker is raw, aggressive, and has a way of telling a story if he's given the right opportunity to do so. But obviously, WWE don't want to do that. And I know why. It's because they don't want to build stars. They want to lean on the guys that have been there for 10 plus years and give them everything while everyone else can go suck a dick and fill in time spots in these shows. Because eventually they are going to sell this product off to somebody else who, we better hope, whoever they sell it off to actually gives a shit about pro wrestling and wants to help this company get back on its feet. Because for the last 20 years almost, we have gotten nothing but trash. Since 2010, I would say I have not been impressed with WWE. Yes, within those, since 2010, yes, we've had some moments and we've had some good things occur in those moments. But over the last, I'd say, almost 10 years? I'd say since 2018, 2017. I'd say about 2017. Since that point in time, we have not gotten any memorable moments that are huge with great stories. Honestly, I mean, maybe if you go back and look through all the history, maybe you'll find a couple, but anything that I remember, not really. I mean, the Bloodline story, yeah, that was great. The thing with Cody Rhodes winning and finishing his story, great, wonderful. Whoop-de-fuck-you-do. I'm talking about consistent, year-to-year, memorable stuff that keeps you captivated throughout the entire year. We have not gotten that in a very long time. That's just my viewpoint on it. I don't know what you guys think. But anyway, at this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And as always, leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. Thank you guys very much for watching, and have a great night.